There are some things about success that people celebrate loudly, and then there are the parts nobody wants to talk about. The lonely nights, the prayers whispered through tears, the moments when you feel like God gave you a promise, but your reality looks nothing like it. And if I can be honest with you today, sometimes the greatest success secret isn't talent, connections, or opportunities. Sometimes the real secret is surviving the seasons that almost made you quit, because what people see as success is usually just the highlight reel. They see the platform, but they didn't see the preparation. They see the victory, but they didn't see the warfare. They celebrate the blessing, but they don't understand the breaking that came before it. And I came to tell somebody today that what you're going through right now might actually be the very thing God is using to prepare you for what you prayed for. Some of you are frustrated because you thought the journey would be easier. You thought once you said yes to God, doors would open instantly. But instead, you faced rejection, delays, and moments where you questioned your own calling. And I need you to hear me clearly. Delay does not mean denial. God often hides the greatest success in seasons that look like silence. So before we go any further, I want you to pause for a moment and do something powerful with me. If this message is already speaking to your heart, go ahead and like this video and subscribe to the channel for daily motivation that strengthens your faith and mindset. And in the comments, write one famous quote that inspires you, and also share one thing you're believing God for today. There is power when we declare our faith out loud. I want to leave you with a reminder that has carried generations through their hardest seasons. Faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase. Today, we're going to talk about the success secret nobody talks about, the hidden process uses to build the person who can actually handle the blessing. And if you stay with me, I believe something in your spirit is about to shift. There is something about hidden seasons that most people misunderstand. We live in a world that celebrates visibility. People admire the stage, the recognition, the applause, the moments when someone's life finally looks like success. But what many people never stop to consider is that almost every meaningful victory is born in a place where no one is watching. The most powerful growth rarely happens under bright lights. It happens in quiet spaces, in moments when you are alone with your thoughts, alone with your faith, and sometimes even alone with your doubts. Hidden seasons are the places where your character is formed. They are the quiet chapters of your life that do not attract attention but hold incredible importance. You may not see immediate progress during these moments, and that can make the journey feel slow or even discouraging. But hidden seasons are not empty seasons. They are active seasons. God is doing work in places that the world cannot see yet. Many people want success, but very few people are willing to endure the hidden preparation that success requires. The truth is that preparation often feels uncomfortable. It requires patience when you want quick results. It asks you to remain faithful even when there is no applause, no recognition, and no clear evidence that what you are doing is making a difference. Sometimes the hidden season looks like waking up every morning and choosing discipline even when motivation is low. It looks like continuing to learn when progress feels slow. It looks like holding on to faith when circumstances seem confusing. These moments are not wasted moments. They are the building blocks of a stronger future. The hidden season is where resilience begins to grow. It is where your mindset begins to change. When everything is visible and easy, it is simple to feel confident. But when you are working quietly without recognition, that is when your true strength begins to develop. That is when you discover whether your purpose is strong enough to carry you through uncertainty. You may look around and see other people moving ahead quickly. Their lives may appear successful. Their achievements may seem larger or more visible. In those moments, comparison can quietly begin to grow inside your heart. You may start asking questions like, why is their journey moving faster than mine? Or why does my progress feel invisible? But hidden seasons often exist because your preparation is unique. What God is building in you may require a different pace, a different process, and a deeper foundation. Sometimes the delay is not punishment. Sometimes the delay is protection. Sometimes it is development. A seed planted in the ground does not immediately appear above the soil. For a long time, it grows beneath the surface where no one can see it. Roots spread quietly. Strength develops silently. And although it may look like nothing is happening, growth is taking place in ways that are essential for what will come later. Your hidden season is similar to that seed. Just because the growth is not visible yet does not mean it is not happening. Your patience, your effort, your prayers, your consistency, and your faith are creating roots that will eventually support something far greater than what you can see today. Many people want quick results because quick results feel satisfying. They give instant validation, but quick results often come without strong foundations. And anything that rises quickly without deep roots can easily collapse when pressure appears. Hidden seasons give you something more valuable than fast success. They give you stability. They give you maturity. They give you wisdom that cannot be learned in a moment of comfort. There are lessons that only quiet seasons can teach. In the hidden places, you learn how to manage your thoughts when doubt appears. You learn how to keep your faith steady even when life feels uncertain. You learn how to work without depending on constant encouragement from others. This type of growth may feel slow, but it is powerful. It shapes the way you respond to challenges. It strengthens your ability to continue moving forward, even when the path is not fully clear. Hidden seasons also help you understand your purpose more clearly. When there is no noise from the outside world, you begin to hear your inner voice more clearly. You begin to recognize the direction that truly aligns with your calling. Sometimes the hidden season forces you to simplify your focus. Instead of chasing attention or approval, you begin to concentrate on growth. Instead of worrying about recognition, you start investing in improvement. The quiet work that you do during these seasons builds something inside you that cannot be easily shaken. Confidence begins to grow from experience rather than external praise. Discipline becomes part of your daily life rather than something you practice occasionally. This transformation happens gradually. You may not notice it day by day, but over time the difference becomes clear. The person who enters the hidden season is not the same person who eventually walks out of it. Hidden seasons also reveal the depth of your commitment. When success is visible and celebrated, motivation can feel natural. But when progress is slow and recognition is absent, commitment becomes a choice. Each day you choose to continue becomes an act of belief. You are choosing to trust the process even when the results are not yet visible. You are choosing to invest in your future even when the present moment feels quiet. These choices may seem small at first, but they accumulate over time. Consistency becomes strength. Repetition becomes mastery. Patience becomes wisdom. It is important to understand that hidden seasons are not a sign that you are falling behind. In many cases, they are a sign that something meaningful is being prepared within you. The world often measures success through visible achievements. But real success begins long before those achievements appear. It begins in the internal changes that shape the way you think, the way you act, and the way you respond to life. In hidden seasons, your mindset begins to expand. You learn to think beyond immediate results. You begin to appreciate the value of long-term growth. You develop the ability to remain steady even when the future feels uncertain. This mindset is essential for lasting success. Without it, even great opportunities can become overwhelming. Without inner stability, external success can create pressure rather than fulfillment. Hidden seasons also deepen your faith. When everything is working smoothly, faith can feel easy. But when the journey becomes quiet and uncertain, faith becomes a deliberate decision. You begin to trust that the work you are doing today will matter tomorrow. You begin to believe that every small effort is contributing to something larger. Even when you cannot see the full picture, you continue moving forward. This kind of faith does not appear instantly. It grows through experience. It grows through moments when you continue despite doubt. It grows through the quiet victories that happen inside your heart. There is also a kind of peace that begins to develop in hidden seasons. At first, the quiet may feel uncomfortable. You may wish for faster progress or greater recognition, but over time, you begin to understand that growth does not always need noise. You start to appreciate the calm rhythm of steady progress. You begin to recognize the value of patience. Instead of rushing toward results, you learn to respect the process that leads to them. The hidden season becomes a place where your focus becomes stronger. Distractions become less powerful. Your attention shifts toward what truly matters. You begin to spend more time improving your skills, strengthening your mindset, and nurturing your faith. These investments may not bring immediate applause, but they create a powerful foundation for the future. Over time, something remarkable begins to happen. The quiet work you have been doing starts to show results. Opportunities begin to appear. Confidence becomes visible in the way you speak and act. People may look at your progress and assume that success arrives suddenly. They may think the breakthrough happened quickly. But you know the truth. You remember the days when progress felt invisible. You remember the moments when you continued working even when results were uncertain. You remember the quiet faith that carried you through the hidden season. Because of that experience, success does not feel fragile. It feels grounded. It feels stable because it was built on patience, discipline, and belief. Hidden seasons teach you that success is not only about reaching a destination. It is about becoming the kind of person who can sustain that destination. The growth that happens in quiet places prepares you for the responsibilities that come with greater opportunities. It strengthens your ability to handle pressure. It sharpens your awareness. It deepens your gratitude. You begin to recognize that the hidden season was never empty. It was full of lessons that shaped your journey. Every early morning when you chose discipline over comfort added strength to your character. Every moment when you chose patience over frustration built resilience inside your spirit. Every time you continued believing when results were not visible strengthened your faith. And slowly, almost quietly, those hidden efforts begin to form a powerful foundation for the life that is still unfolding. There is a part of the journey that most people try to avoid. A part that feels uncomfortable, confusing, and sometimes even unfair. It is the part where struggle appears. When we imagine purpose and success, we usually imagine clarity, progress, and fulfillment. We imagine doors opening, opportunities aligning, and life moving forward smoothly. But the truth is that struggle often becomes one of the most powerful teachers along the way. Your struggle is not always a sign that something is wrong. Sometimes it is a sign that something important is being built within you. The obstacles you face are not always barriers meant to stop you. Many times they are assignments meant to shape you. An assignment is something that requires effort, attention, and patience. It challenges your current abilities and invites you to grow beyond them. Struggle works in a similar way. It places you in situations where your usual strength may not feel like enough. It pushes you to discover deeper resilience, stronger faith, and greater wisdom. When life becomes difficult, the first reaction for many people is to question the journey. They wonder if they made the wrong decision or chose the wrong path. Doubt can quietly enter the mind and begin asking questions that weaken confidence. But struggle does not always mean you are moving in the wrong direction. In many cases, struggle appears because you are moving in the right direction and the process of growth has begun. Growth often begins with discomfort. It asks you to move beyond familiar patterns and comfortable habits. It invites you to develop new strengths that you may not have needed before. This transformation can feel challenging because it requires change. Think about the moments in life that shaped you the most. Often they were not the easiest moments. They were the times when you had to learn patience, courage, and persistence. They were the moments when circumstances forced you to become stronger than you previously believed you could be. Struggle has a way of revealing what is inside your heart and mind. When everything is easy, it is simple to remain confident. But when challenges appear, your inner beliefs begin to surface. You begin to see what you truly rely on for strength. Some people rely only on comfort. When comfort disappears, their motivation disappears with it. But those who learn to grow through struggle begin to rely on something deeper. They learn to depend on purpose, discipline, and faith. Your struggle becomes an assignment because it teaches you how to stand steady, even when the ground beneath you feels uncertain. There are moments when life will present challenges that seem overwhelming. Delays may appear when you expected progress. Rejection may come when you hope for acceptance. Uncertainty may replace the clarity you once felt. In those moments, it can feel as though the journey has become heavier than expected. But every challenge carries the possibility of transformation. Struggle forces you to examine your mindset. It encourages you to ask deeper questions about your direction and your purpose. Instead of simply moving forward automatically, you begin to move forward intentionally. You begin to recognize the importance of patience. In a fast-moving world, patience can feel like weakness. But patience is actually a powerful strength. It allows you to remain steady while growth continues beneath the surface. Your struggle may also teach you humility. When everything works easily, it is easy to believe that success comes only from personal ability. But challenges remind you that growth is a process that requires guidance, learning, and faith. Humility opens the door to wisdom. It allows you to accept new perspectives, seek guidance, and learn from experiences that might otherwise feel like failures. Every obstacle carries a lesson within it. Sometimes that lesson is about resilience. Sometimes it is about clarity. Sometimes it is about recognizing which paths truly align with your purpose. The struggle may slow your progress for a moment, but it often improves the direction of your journey. Another important part of struggle is that it strengthens emotional endurance. Life does not always move according to our plans. Unexpected situations appear, and the ability to adapt becomes essential. Struggle teaches you how to remain calm when circumstances change. It teaches you how to manage frustration without losing hope. It teaches you how to continue moving forward even when the outcome is not guaranteed. These skills are not developed in easy moments. They are developed through experience. Each challenge becomes a training ground for greater emotional strength. As time passes, you begin to notice that the struggles you once feared are becoming situations you can handle with greater confidence. What once felt overwhelming now feels manageable because your perspective has expanded. Your assignment is not simply to survive the struggle. Your assignment is to grow through it. Growth often happens quietly. It appears in small shifts in your mindset. It appears in the way you respond to setbacks. It appears in the patience you show when things do not happen immediately. One day you may look back at a difficult season and realize that it changed you in ways you could not see at the time. Struggle also builds empathy. When you experience challenges, you begin to understand the journeys of others more deeply. You become more compassionate because you recognize how complex life can be. Empathy allows you to connect with people on a deeper level. It strengthens relationships and encourages understanding. In many cases, the struggles you face today prepare you to help someone else tomorrow. Your assignment is not only about personal success, it is also about the impact your journey will have on others. The lessons you learn through difficulty often become guidance for those who are walking similar paths. Another powerful effect of struggle is that it refines your priorities. When everything feels comfortable, it is easy to chase many different goals at once. But when challenges appear, clarity begins to develop. You start focusing on what truly matters. Distractions lose their influence. Your attention moves toward the goals and values that hold genuine meaning in your life. This clarity is valuable because it protects your energy. Instead of spreading your effort across many directions, you begin investing deeply in the paths that align with your purpose. Struggle can also strengthen your discipline. When motivation fades, discipline becomes the force that keeps you moving forward. Discipline is not about perfection. It is about consistency. It is about choosing progress even when emotions are uncertain. Through struggle, discipline becomes part of your daily life. It shapes the habits that guide your actions. These habits gradually build momentum. Small efforts repeated over time create powerful change. Your assignment during struggle is to remain present with the process. Instead of focusing only on the outcome, you begin to appreciate the lessons that appear along the way. Every challenge becomes an opportunity to refine your mindset. Every obstacle becomes a chance to develop resilience. You begin to understand that struggle is not simply something to escape. It is something to learn from. There are moments when the weight of struggle may feel heavy. In those moments, faith becomes a quiet source of strength. Faith does not always remove the challenge immediately, but it provides the courage to continue moving forward. Faith reminds you that your journey has meaning even when the path feels uncertain. Faith allows you to trust that the lessons within your struggle will eventually reveal their purpose. Over time, you begin to notice that your perspective toward difficulty has changed. What once felt like an obstacle now feels like preparation. Your mindset becomes more stable because you understand that every experience carries the potential for growth. Instead of fearing challenges, you begin to approach them with curiosity and determination. This shift in perspective is powerful. It transforms struggle from something that weakens you into something that strengthens you. Each time you overcome a challenge, your confidence grows. You begin to trust your ability to handle uncertainty. You begin to see that resilience is not something you are born with. It is something you develop through experience. The assignment of struggle is not always comfortable, but it is meaningful. It shapes your character, strengthens your mindset, deepens your faith, and refines your purpose. It teaches you that progress is not always visible immediately, but growth is always possible when you remain committed to learning. Through struggle, you discover strengths that may have remained hidden during easier times. You learn patience when circumstances move slowly. You learn courage when facing uncertainty. You learn discipline when motivation fades. You learn empathy when witnessing the challenges of others. You learn faith when answers are not immediately clear. These lessons quietly reshape your perspective and prepare you for greater responsibility. The struggles you face today may feel like interruptions, but they are often part of a larger preparation. They are shaping the mindset and character required for the opportunities that will appear later. Every moment of perseverance adds strength to your journey. Every lesson learned through difficulty becomes part of the wisdom you carry forward. Every step taken despite uncertainty becomes evidence of your resilience. There are moments in life when waiting feels heavier than the challenge itself. Waiting can create a quiet tension in the heart, especially when you know you have worked hard, prayed sincerely, and prepared faithfully. You expected movement. You expected doors to open. You expected progress to appear sooner. But instead of acceleration, you experience delay. Instead of clarity, you encounter silence. Delay has a way of testing your patience in ways that nothing else can. It stretches the distance between the promise and the result. It places you in a space where you must continue believing even though nothing around you appears to be changing. In those moments, the mind can begin to ask difficult questions. You may start wondering if the opportunity passed you by. You may begin questioning whether the dream was ever meant for you, but delay does not always mean something is being denied. Sometimes delay is a process of development. It is a quiet season where something important is being formed within you before the next step of your journey becomes visible. Development often happens slowly and quiet. It is not loud. It is a gradual shaping of your mindset, your character, and your perspective. You may not notice the transformation immediately, but it's taking place every day. You continue learning, growing, and preparing. In a world that values speed, delay can feel uncomfortable. People admire quick success stories. They celebrate moments where things seem to happen instantly. But what the world often forgets is that lasting success rarely arrives without preparation. And preparation often requires time. Time allows growth to become deep rather than temporary. It allows understanding to become wisdom rather than information. It allows patience to become strength rather than frustration. When delay appears in your life, it can feel like standing still while everyone else moves forward. You may look around and see others reaching milestones that you are still waiting for. You may hear stories of rapid progress that make your own journey feel slow. Comparison can begin to whisper quietly during those moments. It can suggest that your pace means you are behind. It can make you question your direction. But delay is not always a reflection of your ability. Sometimes it reflects the depth of preparation required for what lies ahead. A strong structure requires a strong foundation. When the foundation is deep, the building can stand through storms. But when the foundation is rushed, even a beautiful structure can collapse under pressure. Development is the process of strengthening your foundation. During seasons of delay, you are often being prepared for responsibilities that you cannot yet fully see. Opportunities may appear attractive from the outside, but they also carry weight and responsibility. Without the right mindset, those responsibilities can become overwhelming. Delay gives you time to build the mindset required to handle those responsibilities with confidence. It allows you to develop emotional stability. It allows you to learn how to remain calm when circumstances become challenging. It allows you to strengthen your discipline so that success becomes sustainable rather than temporary. You may not recognize these changes immediately. Development often happens in small, quiet adjustments. It appears in the way you respond to frustration. It appears in the patience you show during uncertainty. It appears in the consistency you maintain even when results are not visible. These small adjustments gradually shape a stronger version of you. Another powerful part of delay is that it refines your focus. When a goal takes longer to achieve, you are given time to evaluate your intentions more carefully. You begin to ask deeper questions about why that goal matters to you. Sometimes the delay reveals whether your desire is based on temporary excitement or genuine purpose. If the purpose is genuine, your commitment remains strong even when progress is slow. That commitment becomes part of your development. Delay also teaches you how to manage expectations. When everything happens quickly, it is easy to assume that life will always move according to your plans. But delay introduces a different rhythm. It reminds you that timing is not always under your control. It encourages you to develop trust in the process rather than relying only on immediate results. Trust becomes a powerful strength during these seasons. It allows you to remain steady even when answers are not immediately clear. Faith often grows during moments of delay. When progress is visible, faith may feel simple because the results reinforce your belief. But when the path becomes quiet and uncertain, faith becomes a deliberate decision. You begin choosing belief even when evidence is limited. You continue preparing even when the opportunity has not yet appeared. You maintain hope even when time seems to stretch longer than expected. This kind of faith strengthens your inner stability. It teaches you how to remain confident without depending entirely on external circumstances. Another hidden benefit of delay is the wisdom it develops. When time slows down your progress, you are given space to observe, learn, and understand your journey more deeply. You begin noticing patterns that may have been invisible during faster seasons. You recognize which habits strengthen your growth and which habits slow it down. This awareness helps you make better decisions moving forward instead of reacting quickly. You begin responding thoughtfully. Wisdom is rarely developed in moments of speed. It grows in moments of reflection. Delay provides space for that reflection. It also allows relationships and support systems to develop naturally. As time passes, the people who genuinely support your growth remain present. Their encouragement becomes a source of strength during uncertain moments. These connections often become valuable parts of your journey. Delay can also strengthen resilience. When progress takes time, you experience moments where motivation fades. Those moments require determination rather than excitement. Determination is a quieter form of strength. It is the ability to continue moving forward even when emotions are uncertain. Through delay, determination becomes part of your character. Each day you choose patience instead of frustration. Resilience becomes stronger. Each moment you continue learning despite uncertainty, confidence grows. Each step taken during a quiet season adds depth to your preparation. Delay also protects you from premature success. Success that arrives before you are ready can sometimes create more pressure than progress. Without preparation, opportunities may feel overwhelming. Without discipline, achievements may be difficult to sustain. Development ensures that when success eventually arrives, you are ready to handle it wisely. You have developed the mindset required to manage responsibility. You have developed the patience required to navigate challenges. You have developed the emotional strength required to remain balanced during both victories and setbacks. When development happens first, success becomes more meaningful. It becomes something you are prepared to carry rather than something that suddenly appears without context. During delay, you may sometimes feel like nothing is changing, but development often happens beneath the surface. Your perspective is expanding, your patience is growing, your discipline is strengthening, your faith is deepening. These internal changes may not be visible immediately, but they are powerful. Over time, you begin to notice the difference in how you respond to situations. Challenges that once felt overwhelming now feel manageable. Uncertainty that once created anxiety now invites thoughtful patience. The delay that once felt frustrating begins to reveal its purpose. It allowed you to become stronger before stepping into greater opportunities. Development also teaches gratitude. When success arrives after a long season of preparation, it carries deeper meaning. You appreciate the journey because you remember the effort it required. You value the opportunity because you understand the patience it demanded. Gratitude creates humility and awareness. It reminds you that every step of the journey contributed to the outcome. Even the slow moments played an important role. Delay transforms your understanding of time. Instead of seeing time as something that must always move quickly, you begin to see it as something that can shape growth. Every season carries value, even the quiet ones. Every pause carries a lesson. Every delay carries an opportunity for development. You begin to approach waiting with a different mindset. Instead of feeling powerless, you begin using the time to prepare. You strengthen your skills. You refine your goals. You deepen your understanding of your purpose. Preparation becomes your focus rather than frustration. This shift in mindset turns delay into a productive season. The waiting becomes meaningful because growth continues. Eventually, moments of progress begin to appear again. Opportunities open. Paths become clearer. But when those moments arrive, you are not the same person who first started waiting. You carry greater patience. You carry deeper wisdom. You carry stronger faith. You carry the quiet confidence that comes from understanding that development has been taking place all along. The delay that once felt confusing becomes part of your story of preparation. It becomes evidence that growth was happening even when the results were not yet visible. And every step of that development quietly shapes the person you are becoming. Purpose is something many people search for throughout their lives. It is the quiet question that appears in the mind during moments of reflection. People ask themselves what they are meant to do, where they are meant to go, and what kind of impact they are meant to make. Purpose feels important because it gives meaning to effort and direction to ambition. But what many people do not realize is that purpose is not only about what you achieve. Purpose is also about who you become. The journey toward purpose requires personal growth. It requires the gradual transformation of your mindset, your habits, your perspective, and your discipline. Without this growth, even the clearest purpose can remain out of reach. Many people hope that purpose will arrive suddenly, like a moment of discovery where everything becomes clear and success begins immediately. But purpose often unfolds through a process. It grows as you grow. It expands as your understanding deepens. Personal growth becomes the bridge between your potential and your purpose. When growth begins, it often starts quietly. You may notice small changes in the way you think. Ideas that once felt distant begin to feel possible. Questions that once felt confusing begin to lead toward clarity. Your curiosity becomes stronger and your desire to learn increases. Growth invites you to look at life differently. Instead of focusing only on results, you begin to pay attention to the habits that create those results. You begin to recognize that success is not only built on inspiration, but also on discipline. Discipline is one of the most important elements of personal growth. It is the ability to take consistent action even when motivation is low. Motivation may appear suddenly, but discipline is what sustains progress. Purpose requires discipline because meaningful goals rarely happen by accident. They are created through repeated effort, thoughtful planning, and steady commitment. As you grow personally, your habits begin to change. You may start spending more time learning new skills, reflecting on your decisions, and improving the way you approach challenges. These changes may appear small at first, but over time they reshape the direction of your life. Personal growth also involves expanding your mindset. The way you think about challenges, opportunities, and failure begins to evolve. In the early stages of a journey, setbacks may feel discouraging. They may appear as signs that something is not working, but as your mindset grows stronger, you begin to view setbacks differently. Begin to see them as feedback rather than defeat. Every experience becomes an opportunity to learn something new. Every obstacle becomes a chance to refine your approach. This perspective allows you to continue moving forward even when the path becomes difficult. Growth also strengthens your self-awareness. You begin to understand your strengths more clearly. You recognize the areas where improvement is needed. Instead of avoiding weaknesses, you start addressing them with patience and determination. Self-awareness is powerful because it helps you align your actions with your true values. When you understand yourself more deeply, your decisions become more intentional. Purpose often becomes clear when your actions and values begin to align. Another important aspect of personal growth is emotional maturity. As you grow, you develop the ability to manage your emotions more effectively. Instead of reacting immediately to frustration or disappointment, you learn how to pause and respond thoughtfully. Emotional maturity allows you to navigate challenges without losing focus on your long-term goals. It also strengthens your relationships with others. Purpose is rarely achieved in complete isolation. Along the journey, you encounter mentors, supporters, collaborators, and people who share similar visions. Your ability to communicate, listen, and cooperate becomes an important part of your progress. Personal growth teaches humility. As you learn more, you become aware of how much more there is to understand. This humility keeps you open to new ideas and perspectives. It allows you to accept guidance from those who have walked similar paths before you. Guidance can accelerate growth because it provides insight that might take years to discover alone. Another dimension of growth is patience. When you begin pursuing meaningful goals, it can be tempting to expect quick results, but meaningful progress often requires time. Patience allows you to remain committed even when progress feels slow. It helps you trust that each step is contributing to something larger. Purpose is not built in a single moment. It is shaped through many small actions taken over time. Each time you choose learning over comfort, growth expands. Each time you choose persistence over doubt, confidence strengthens. Each time you choose discipline over distraction, your path becomes clearer. Growth also requires courage. There will be moments when pursuing your purpose requires stepping outside familiar routines. It may require trying something new, speaking up for your ideas, or moving in a direction that others do not fully understand. Courage allows you to take those steps even when uncertainty is present. Without courage, purpose may remain an idea rather than becoming a reality. As personal growth continues, your sense of responsibility also begins to expand. You begin to understand that purpose is not only about personal success, it often includes contributing something meaningful to the lives of others. This realization adds depth to your journey. You begin thinking about how your actions, your work, and your influence can create positive impact. This perspective transforms purpose from a personal ambition into a broader mission. Growth also teaches adaptability. Life rarely follows a perfectly predictable path. Unexpected changes appear, and plans sometimes require adjustment. Adaptability allows you to respond to these changes with creativity rather than frustration. Instead of seeing change as a threat, you begin to see it as an opportunity to explore new possibilities. Your flexibility strengthens your ability to continue moving forward even when circumstances shift. Another important aspect of growth is consistency. Consistency is the quiet force that transforms effort into achievement. Many people start with enthusiasm, but consistency is what carries them through the long journey. Personal growth encourages you to develop routines that support your goals. Daily habits become powerful tools for progress. Small improvements repeated consistently create lasting transformation. Over time, your confidence begins to grow, not because everything becomes easy, but because you recognize your ability to handle challenges. Confidence built through growth is stable because it is based on experience rather than temporary success. You begin to trust your ability to learn, adapt, and improve. This trust allows you to approach new opportunities with greater calmness and clarity. Purpose begins to feel more attainable because you recognize the strength you have developed along the way. Growth also deepens your sense of gratitude as you look back on your journey. You begin to appreciate the lessons that each stage provided. Even the difficult moments contributed to your development. Challenges forced you to think differently. Mistakes taught valuable lessons. Moments of uncertainty encouraged reflection and patience. Gratitude brings balance to your perspective. It reminds you that growth is a continuous process rather than a final destination. Every stage of life offers new opportunities to learn and evolve. Purpose continues to expand as you continue growing. New experiences introduce new insights. New challenges reveal new strengths. Your journey becomes a cycle of learning, adapting, and progressing. Through personal growth, you begin to understand that purpose is not something distant waiting at the end of the road. It is something that develops as you walk the road. Every skill you learn adds a piece to the larger picture. Every lesson you absorb strengthens your foundation. Every challenge you overcome prepares you for the next level of responsibility. Growth shapes the person who will eventually carry the purpose. Without growth, purpose may feel overwhelming. But with growth, purpose becomes something you are ready to embrace. The process continues quietly each day as you invest in learning, reflection, and improvement. Your mindset becomes stronger. Your habits become more intentional. Your discipline becomes more reliable. Your understanding of life becomes deeper. And through that steady process of personal growth, the path toward purpose continues to unfold step by step. There is a quiet strength that lives inside faith. It is not always loud or dramatic. Often it moves gently through the heart, guiding a person forward even when the road ahead cannot be fully seen. Faith becomes the hidden force that carries people through uncertainty, through delay, through moments when the path feels unclear. Many people search for the secret behind lasting success, looking for strategies, skills, or connections. Those things may help along the journey. But beneath them all, there is something deeper that sustains the journey itself. That deeper foundation is faith. Faith is the ability to continue moving forward even when certainty has not yet appeared. It is believing that the effort you invest today will matter tomorrow. It is trusting that the quiet steps you take in preparation will eventually lead to opportunities that align with your purpose. Faith does not require complete understanding of the future. Instead, it asks for willingness to take the next step with confidence. There are seasons when the road ahead is clear and progress feels natural. During those moments, faith may feel easy because results reinforce your belief. But the true power of faith appears during the quieter seasons when progress slows and outcomes remain uncertain. In those moments, faith becomes a conscious decision rather than a comfortable feeling. Choosing faith means choosing hope when doubt begins to whisper. It means continuing to invest your time and energy into growth even when recognition is not yet visible. It means trusting that the lessons you are learning now will prepare you for opportunities you have not yet encountered. Faith often begins as a small spark of belief. It may start with a simple idea that your life can grow into something meaningful. That idea encourages you to take small steps toward improvement. At first, those steps may seem ordinary, but over time, they begin to shape a larger journey. Each step guided by faith adds strength to your mindset. When you choose to continue learning, working, and believing despite uncertainty, your confidence gradually grows. That confidence is not based only on visible achievements. It is built on the understanding that persistence itself creates progress. Many people expect confidence to arrive before action. They believe they must feel completely ready before moving forward. But faith often works in the opposite direction. It encourages action first, trusting that clarity and confidence will develop along the way. Taking a step forward without full certainty requires courage. Courage does not mean the absence of fear. It means moving forward even while uncertainty exists. Faith supports that courage by reminding you that growth is possible even when the outcome is not guaranteed. There are moments in every journey when challenges appear unexpectedly. Plans may change, opportunities may close, situations may arise that test your patience and resilience. During those times, it may feel tempting to pause your efforts or question your direction. Faith provides the strength to remain steady during those moments. It reminds you that challenges are not always signals to stop. Often they are invitations to adapt, learn, and continue. When you look at many stories of success, you may notice that the individuals involved experience moments of uncertainty along the way. They faced obstacles that could have easily discouraged them, yet they continued moving forward because they believed their efforts would eventually lead somewhere meaningful. Faith turns ordinary effort into long-term progress because it sustains consistency. Without faith, it becomes difficult to continue when immediate rewards are not visible. But with faith, patience becomes possible. Patience allows you to remain focused on growth rather than only on results. Instead of measuring progress by what appears today, you begin to appreciate the value of preparation. Every skill you practice, every lesson you learn, and every habit you strengthen becomes part of a larger foundation. Faith also changes the way you interpret setbacks. When difficulties appear, it can be easy to view them as signs of failure, but faith encourages a different perspective. It suggests that setbacks can be sources of learning. Every experience carries information that can help you grow. A challenge may reveal a skill that needs improvement. A delay may create space for deeper preparation. A closed door may redirect your attention toward an opportunity that better aligns with your purpose. This perspective allows you to remain calm even when progress slows. Instead of reacting with frustration, you begin responding with curiosity and reflection. Faith also strengthens discipline. Discipline is the habit of continuing to act in alignment with your goals, even when motivation fluctuates. Motivation may come and go, but discipline ensures that progress continues. Faith supports discipline by reminding you why your effort matters. When you believe that your actions have purpose, it becomes easier to remain consistent. For example, waking up early to work on a meaningful goal may feel challenging at times, but faith transforms that effort into an investment in your future. Each small action becomes part of a larger vision. Over time, these consistent efforts accumulate to noticeable progress. What once seemed like distant dreams begin to feel more realistic because you have been steadily building the skills and habits required to achieve them. Faith also deepens your resilience. Resilience is the ability to recover from difficulty and continue moving forward. Without resilience, challenges may cause discouragement that stops progress. Faith nurtures resilience by reminding you that setbacks do not define your entire journey. They are temporary moments within a much larger story. When you hold on to that understanding, it becomes easier to stand up again after disappointment. You begin to trust that every experience contributes to your development. Another important aspect of faith is that it encourages gratitude during the journey. When you believe that each step has value, you begin to appreciate progress in all its forms. Even small improvements begin to feel meaningful. Learning something new becomes a reason to celebrate. Completing a task with dedication becomes a sign of growth. Gratitude creates a calm sense of fulfillment that supports long-term motivation. Faith also strengthens your relationship with uncertainty. Many people feel uncomfortable when the future is unclear. They prefer to know exactly how events will unfold, but life rarely provides complete certainty. Paths change. Opportunities appear in unexpected ways. Circumstances evolve. Faith allows you to remain peaceful within that uncertainty. Instead of demanding complete answers immediately, you learn to trust the unfolding process. This trust does not mean becoming passive. Instead, it encourages active preparation while remaining open to new possibilities. You continue improving your skills, expanding your knowledge, and strengthening your mindset while allowing the future to reveal itself step by step. Faith also shapes the way you influence others. When people observe someone who continues believing and working despite challenges, it can inspire them to do the same. Your calm determination becomes an example of what persistence looks like. Your steady effort demonstrates that progress is possible even when the journey is long. In this way, faith extends beyond personal success. It creates a ripple effect that encourages others to pursue their own growth. Another beautiful aspect of faith is the sense of peace it brings to the process of striving. Ambition without faith can sometimes create stress because it focuses only on outcomes. Faith balances ambition with trust. It allows you to work diligently while understanding that results may arrive in their own time. This balance reduces unnecessary pressure and allows you to enjoy the journey of growth. You begin to recognize that every day offers an opportunity to learn something new, improve something small, or take one step closer to your goals. Faith also encourages reflection. During quiet moments, you may look back on the path you have traveled and notice how far you have come. Challenges that once seemed overwhelming now appear as lessons that strengthened you. Uncertain moments that once created worry now appear as turning points that guided you toward new understanding. Reflection strengthens your appreciation for the journey itself. It reminds you that progress is not always measured by speed. Often it is measured by depth of understanding, depth of character, depth of resilience. Faith continues to support that depth as you move forward. Every step guided by faith becomes part of a larger story of growth. Every effort made with belief contributes to the person you are becoming. The quiet power of faith continues working within you as you pursue learning, discipline, patience, and courage.